Welcome to Paradize, is the latest zombie experience. This one, a co-op game with a tongue-in-cheek sense of humour. Now right now it is available on PC, PlayStation and Xbox, and today we're going to be giving you our thoughts on the full experience. So if you do enjoy the video today, subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount, and let's get into this. So we exist in a post-apocalyptic world. The zombies have taken over. However, we do hear of a commercial for a place called Paradize. This is a safe haven. Basically, humankind have come together in harmony, and zombies are actually controlled with technology. They are known as Zombots. Now, the commercial to a certain extent is true. Zombies are under control. There clearly was at some point a safe haven here, but that's not so much the case right now. Unfortunately, it has in a sense been overrun, and there is definitely some issues. Now we're basically entering this location, and we are going to be looking at a new, let's say, way to safety. Yeah, overall, I did enjoy the story. I would say the presentation, the way it's delivered, it's kind of these cheap cartoon cutscenes. They didn't always work for me, but there's definitely some funny characters in here. There's definitely some entertaining, like side missions. And yeah, generally it was a lot better than I anticipated. So this is very much a twin stick shooter at its core, with co-op as an option, though I played in single player, and alongside the gunplay, you can expect things such as resource gathering and basic base building. Now, first of all, that gunplay, incredibly satisfying. I was surprised, in fact, at how much I enjoyed it, but you will kill in the thousands. And yeah, admittedly, the controls in these moments with certain weapons can feel a little bit clunky, but it is a satisfying progression. You're going to start with a stick. You're facing basically cannon fodder zombies in the opening, but as the difficulty ramps, definitely starts to pack a challenge, and I found myself leveraging all sorts of wild weapons. By the end game, I'd say I mostly stuck with a machine gun flamethrower combo, but I really did enjoy that experimentation. This, though, is also where the Zombots come in. With progression, you're going to be unlocking new items for them, to the point where they can actually recruit their own followers as well. So you kind of end up with this little almost army around you. But basically, with each zombie, you can select what they do in different scenarios, such as in combat, will they defend you, or maybe go all-out attack. Outside of combat, maybe they're simply gonna be, resource gathering. For each Zombot, then, you can select their armor and weapon, and a particular highlight was the ability to attach a saddle to a Zombot, and you can basically ride them across the map. It really does increase your speed, though, and I was surprised at how useful a feature it was, for me to leverage. Now, should they fall in battle then as well, you can revive them, or you can simply hack yourself a new zombie. One thing that confused me initially was I could only hack one Zombot. It didn't really make it clear to me that it was just one only, but as you do progress, you will unlock the ability to add further to your, supporting forces. Now then, on top of all of this, all of these areas, they tie into a skill tree, so that's where you'll increase Zombot's health or abilities, and the same thing then goes for firepower. Now, talking about the positives, as I said, I've had a lot of fun with this game, but I do want to talk about a few areas that do fall short for me. And basically, I'd say as an overall package, it's definitely rough around the edges. Some things, though, you can easily handle. Others, not so much, such as tutorials. It can be a little tough at times to figure out everything. You're kind of just going to stumble around the controller. I was also disappointed with some of the mission signposting. At one point, for example, the warden at the front gate disappears after an invasion. Now it states, go find them. I presume they were in the local area, so I was wandering around the map for a good 20 minutes. Then, honestly, I got lucky. I went back to my base. I was going to save the game here as a good spot, also pick up a new weapon in the process, and he was basically standing there. He could have been anywhere on this map, which was pretty open at this point, so I do feel like it was artificial padding, and if I hadn't got lucky, that would have been incredibly frustrating. Finally, the base building, for me, it just feels tacked on. Basically, you can set Zombots to work for you, you can build different structures, but for me, it all felt a little bit pointless. In fact, I'd say it even felt forced in, like, I can only craft certain weapons at a weapon shelter or one that is upgrade. I don't mind the overall concept, but the game didn't do enough to make me care about it for a good chunk of the experience. Basically, I did the very bare minimum. Even attacks on it, who cares? I could repair it in moments as I was never short on resources. So overall, gameplay, it is fun in many ways, but a few ideas definitely undercooked, and of course, as I said, it is rough around the edges. However, though, if you've got time for another zombie gameplay experience, this may well be worth a look. It is surprisingly entertaining, and I tell you what, when it fills the world with zombies, you're going to be killing in the thousands, and yes, once again, that is incredibly satisfying. So visually, generally, I'd say, once again, rough around the edges. It's definitely not a good looking game, but it has its moments, and I really did appreciate some of the environmental changes, shopping malls, forest areas, deserts. One thing I actually didn't mention in gameplay was it has light survival elements. So places like the desert, you will see your character overheating, and you do need to keep them topped up with water. Very minimal aspect of the gameplay, but it is in here. Cutscenes, once again, as I said, they're kind of cheap looking for the story delivery mostly, but you will get a few animated cutscenes that I did enjoy with more 3D models. Additionally, the conversation and dialogue between characters, I'm not going to say it's good, but there's definitely some unique designs in here for the characters. They definitely, I guess they look a little bit different, very cartoon-esque, which is what you would expect. The zombies and the animations as well are particularly impressive. They do change in kind of what they can do, their abilities, and as they are swarming you, it's hard not to be impressed. Audio, kind of a similar experience. I'd say the music's just okay. There's a few highlights, but mostly it's incredibly forgettable, just kind of, plodding along in the background. When it comes to sound effects, I did enjoy some of the crunches and the squelches of the weapons and the gunplay. Also, as well, the voice acting, I thought was really well done. It's not good in the traditional sense. It's good in the kind of B-movie-esque entertaining sense. It's very over the top. It's very much kind of, it recognizes how ridiculous the script is, and it's just kind of absolutely going with it. So yeah, overall, that's Welcome to Paradise, and transparently, it kind of surprised me. I didn't know what to expect going in, and it's actually got a very good grasp of, I guess, its core experience, which is the twin stick shooting and that resource gathering. Now, it does fall short for me in some of the story delivery. It also falls short in the base building aspects, but I think if you've got time for another zombie game, let's face it, there's been an absolute ton of them, so a lot of people are just typically burnt out on this formula. But yeah, if you've got time, I would say this is definitely worth a consideration. Today, I'm going to be giving it a good 7 out of 10. I think it's definitely got an opportunity for improvement, and hopefully down the line we might see some updates and more content packed in as well, because the world definitely is unique and there's a surprisingly likable cast behind it all. So will you be checking out Welcome to Paradise? Let us know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.